The sun line, also known as the Apollo line in palmistry, symbolizes luck, recognition, artistic or creative talent, as well as wealth and fame. Ideally, this line begins at the base of the palm, near the wrist, and extends upward in a straight path to the mount of sun located beneath the ring finger. When it appears without any breaks, islands, or defects, and especially when supported by other favorable markings on the hand, it suggests that the individual will enjoy lasting success and fame, beginning in childhood and continuing throughout their professional life. Such a flawless and well-placed sun line is exceptionally rare, and appears in only about 1 to 5% of hands in today's era. A common misconception among amateur palm readers is that a long sun line automatically makes the subject artistic. In reality, this is not always the case. While a well-marked sun line does point toward a strong potential for success, it does not guarantee artistic ability. It depends on the type of hand and other supporting signs. Rather, it suggests that the person will likely shine in one's area of work, whatever that may be, through a natural sense of charisma and magnetic personality. Since the sun line often runs parallel to the fate line in many hands, palm readers can estimate the age points on the sun line by using the age projections of the fate line as a reference. This is done by projecting imaginary horizontal lines from the fate line across to the sun line. Typically, the sun line intersects the head line around the age of 35. However, this intersection point can vary depending on the individual's hand structure and type, sometimes appearing above or below the head line. This variation often leads to significant errors in age estimation, when analyzing either the sun line or the fate line. Accurate timing requires careful observation and cross-referencing with the other major lines on the palm, including those on the left hand. This is a detailed and time-consuming process that demands experience and patience, which is why it's considered an advanced skill within palmistry. An important point to note is that even if the fate line appears weak, fragmented, or broken, the presence of a strong and unblemished sun line can compensate for it. This demonstrates the significant influence of the sun line in palm reading. Let's see the types of sun lines in palmistry. A break in the sun line indicates a temporary loss of reputation, delayed or inconsistent success, creative blockages, and a period marked by frustration, setbacks, or public criticism. However, if the sun line resumes after the break, appearing strong and clear, it suggests that the subject has successfully navigated through adversity, overcame the difficulties, and reclaimed their status, confidence, or recognition in society. The presence of a black mole, or dark spot on the sun line suggests a period of defamation, loss of credibility, or public scandal where the blame may be unfairly shifted onto the subject, making them a scapegoat and the focus of gossip or controversy in their social or professional circles. This mark can also imply entanglement in deceitful or unethical activities, knowingly or unknowingly. For instance, the subject might fall victim to a Ponzi scheme, fraud, or a deceptive business deal orchestrated by manipulative individuals. A chained sun line is marked by a series of small islands tied together. In palmistry, this formation is often associated with confusion, persistent unhappiness, ego problems, and a lack of focus on goals. The subject's potential is not being properly harnessed, which leads to missed opportunities and inconsistent progress. The disruption in the energy flow often leads to financial instability or limited resources and an increase in mental stress. The subject may feel unfulfilled or stuck in a career that lacks joy, passion, or recognition. If the sun line starts from the headline, it suggests the subject will attain remarkable success and prosperity in their career through one's intellectual efforts, mental focus, and strategic thinking. I have commonly observed such a type of sun line on the hands of scientists, researchers, writers, strategists, engineers, or any profession where mental clarity and energy are demanded. A wavy sun line in palmistry is viewed as a sign of instability, changeable temperament, and inconsistency. It suggests that the subject will go through a period of fluctuating conditions and distractions that prevent them from realizing their full potential. He or she will feel directionless, will struggle to maintain focus, leading to an erratic career path. However, if the wavy pattern ceases after a certain point and transforms into a straight, unbroken line that continues toward the mount of sun, this change is considered highly encouraging. It indicates that the person eventually overcomes internal confusion or external obstacles and reclaims their creative flow or popularity. On the other hand, if the wavy sun line appears directly on the mount of sun itself, it points to a lifelong pattern of ups and downs in one's career or public reputation, and it becomes more pronounced with age. A thick sun line on the mount of sun suggests the subject is an attention-seeking, showy, and overly concerned with public image. There is often a strong desire to be praised and admired, but a lack of genuine talent, skill, or creative depth needed to sustain a truly meaningful career. As a result, it is considered an unfavorable marking. In the long run, such individuals face criticism or disillusionment when their work doesn't live up to the superficial image they project. If the sun line originates from the lifeline and continues upward to the mount of sun, it indicates the subject will achieve success due to their efforts, and the timely assistance of family members. The connection to the lifeline and, by extension, the mount of Venus, which governs familial bonds, affection, and early nurturing, implies that the foundation of the subject's professional journey is rooted in support, encouragement, or resources from loved ones. Similarly, if the sun line emerges from within the mount of Venus itself and travels flawlessly across the palm to reach the mount of sun, represents a deep and sustained impact of the family's influence and relatives on the subject's life. They help to build a solid base for future success. If one branch from the sun line extends toward the mount of Mercury and another branch reaches toward the mount of Saturn, it forms a powerful and rare combination in palmistry. It indicates the subject is skillfully blending two vital energies: communication, negotiation skills, and intellect from Mercury, and discipline, deep wisdom, and perseverance from Saturn to achieve recognition, success, and fame in life. It makes the person highly balanced and grounded. Branches rising upward from the sun line suggest a positive and progressive attitude that enables one to overcome life's challenges. The length and number of these branches can provide deeper insight into the intensity and duration of the successful phases. Long, strong branches indicate periods of significant creative growth, recognition, and career advancement. Shorter branches still represent progress but point to smaller victories or temporary boosts in morale and success. Regardless of size, these rising lines confirm that the individual is in a growth-oriented mindset and is using their talents effectively. If the sun line originates from the mount of Moon, it represents that the subject will gain extraordinary fame, wealth, and popularity, often in foreign lands or far from their place of birth, with the support of the public. I have frequently found that such individuals have natural charisma about them, which enhances their attractiveness and receive help from the opposite sex, both personally and professionally. The mount of Moon governs imagination, intuition, inspiration, and emotional connectivity. Therefore, it also suggests that ideas and inspiration continuously flow from the subconscious mind, making the person highly imaginative. No sun line on the palm represents the subject will struggle to gain visibility, public acclaim, or appreciation for their work, despite sincere effort. In many cases, this is attributed to recurring bad luck, poor timing, or missed opportunities rather than a lack of ability. However, it's important to note that the absence of a sun line does not always mean a person cannot succeed. Other signs on the hands need to be analyzed to get a holistic view. Lines can evolve over the period of time. A sun line may develop later in life, especially if the person discovers a strong sense of purpose. When a sun line appears deep, clear, and well etched in the early portion of the palm but gradually becomes thin, faint, or fragmented toward the end, it reflects a career that begins with promise, visibility, and significant success but later faces challenges in sustaining that momentum and a decline in inner satisfaction. The cause could be external circumstances like changing trends or competition, or internal factors such as burnout, loss of inspiration, or resistance to change. When a sun line emerges directly from the fate line and rises all the way to the mount of sun, indicates that the subject's journey toward happiness and personal fulfillment begins at the point where the sun line branches off from the fate line. If the sun line is flawless, the person is bound to achieve remarkable success, sudden wealth, and fame in their career. A cross on the sun line or directly on the mount of sun denotes reputation of the subject will be badly damaged due to poor decision-making, impulsive behavior, and an inflated ego. On a physical level, it indicates potential predisposition to health problems related to weak eyesight and the heart, especially if the cross is deeply cut on the mount. I will explain combinations in 2 parts. This was part 1. Stay tuned, part 2 is coming up shortly. Check out the unlucky signs that attract bad luck by clicking on the I button. Share this video with your family and friends. And don't forget to subscribe, with those notifications on. As always, thanks for watching.